Hi, I'm Sherry Ramel. I want to tell you my story because you wouldn't believe it. I don't believe it sometimes. When I was a teenager, I had really bad posture. I had a swayed back, obvious swayed back, and because of that swayed back, I had a lot of trouble standing for long periods of time. Like going grocery shopping with my mom was a major problem. Going clothes shopping for school, anything that took me standing for any period of time, I would have to sit down, or I remember getting down on the floor and stretching my back because I was in so much pain. And here's me, just a young teenager. Well, it just got worse. As time went on, I also found out I had a curve in my upper back, and that started bothering me. Like if I sat and drew, I like to sit and draw pictures. I'm still a teenager, and if I sat and drew pictures for a long period of time, the right side of my back, there would be a muscle back there that would spasm on me, create a lot of pain, a stabbing pain. And I just dealt with all those things that were going on until after I got married, and ended up going into physical therapy because I spent 3 hours doing Christmas cookies, decorating Christmas cookies, and that threw my muscle out, and I was sent to the hospital with a spasm in that muscle in my back, and I called it the cookie injury. So yeah, I did that. Something stupid as decorating cookies threw me into that and put me into physical therapy. It didn't get any better. It went downhill from there, and I had years of problems with that muscle spasming on me so bad I was sent to the hospital several times with it. And in the meantime, I had 3 children, and my leg pain started up. That I didn't understand it at the time. I was constantly having low back pain, but one leg would hurt, and then the other leg would hurt, and then this leg would hurt, and then that leg would hurt, and it was constantly one leg or the other was aching, a deep ache that went from my hip down into sometimes my knee, all the way down into my ankles other times, and that went on for about 10 years. So now you're probably looking at 20 years of pain. I started going to see doctors, trying to figure out what was going on. Nobody knew. They sent me around, and I had MRIs, which was a joke. When they tell you, yeah, doing an MRI is like taking a picture of a ringing telephone. You can see the telephone, but you can't tell it it's ringing. That's what I just spend all this money for. It's ridiculous. I went in and had a stomach biopsy because they thought maybe I had a problem with the coating to my nerves or something. I don't know. So I wasn't getting enough B12, so my stomach lining wasn't absorbing it. I don't know what their reasoning was for that. They found out that I had stomach ulcers from all the pain medications they'd been giving me. I was sent to a neurologist who stuck needles in my legs and then did something like shocked me or something to see how much pain I could feel. Yeah. So I had a bunch of stupid stuff done to me. I started seeing chiropractors about that time. My insurance didn't pay for chiropractors, but I kind of felt like everything else was a joke that was happening that insurance was paying for. So my chiropractor quickly put me into a back brace and saw me twice a day for a week that first time to try to help me. I couldn't rotate. I couldn't do anything. Put me on bed rest, put my feet up on pillows, and I wasn't allowed to do anything for that whole week except go to see him. That helped a little bit it got me through. I ended up seeing like 2 or 3 other chiropractors throughout the next 10 years. And they just kind of helped me get along from a couple days to a couple days, and it was like I had to go back and get fixed again and take me out of pain for another day or 2 and then back at it again. Nobody could seem to get rid of it, and then I ended up on Celebrex. I had Vicodin when I needed it, Flexeril when I needed it. I was on some joint supplements because my hips hurt so much and my lower back hurt. So I was a mess. I got to the point where I had an inversion table, and when my sciatica would hit and I would hit the floor, I would army man crawl like I was in a trench. downstairs to my inversion table, and I would haul myself up onto this inversion table as best I could and hang upside down to try to relieve the pain I was in. It was horrible. I actually got to the point where I thought, because the pain all settled in my left leg to the point where it ached so deep for so many years, that I thought that I had bone cancer in that leg, and that one day somebody was going to catch it, and it was either going to be too late and I was going to die from it, or they were going to have to cut off my leg to save my life. And I felt like either one of those was okay with me at that point, because I was in so much pain. Well, as things go on, life changes. I ended up out of that marriage that I told you about at the beginning, and I went out on a blind date with this guy named Gary, and I had no idea what he did for a living. But while we sat and talked and got to know each other that first date, I found out what he did kind of sounded like something that I could benefit from. And we started seeing each other right away, almost every day. And he told me pretty quick that I had a lot of imbalances in my posture, and he would like to do an evaluation on me. And I told him about my hip problems and my low back problems. And he said, "Oh, I think I can help you." And I was shocked, and I was also excited, because I've been wanting to have somebody help me. I mean, you're talking to a lady who worked 40 hours a week standing at her desk because it hurt to sit all day. I couldn't sit. And when I stood, I had to rock back and forth and take breaks and walk, because standing too long hurt. So I was excited. I couldn't travel anymore. I couldn't go hiking. I couldn't do anything. I was just in pain all the time. So I was excited to hear that he could possibly help me. So he did my evaluation, and yeah, I was really messed up, and he showed me all kinds of problems I had. And he's the first one that ever told me what an SI joint was, and that mine were all out of alignment. And he started working me out. Exercises nobody's ever shown me. Some of them were so subtle and on muscles I'd never heard of, like I'd never heard of a piriformis muscle. Come to find out, that was one of my big problems, is that I needed to strengthen that muscle, and that was part of the problem. Oh my goodness. Within probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 visits coming over here and working out with him, one day I was actually sitting in front of my computer, and I was testing myself to see how long could I sit there, and pretty soon my legs were on fire, and I came in to see him because we were going to work out. And I told him my legs are on fire like a hot poker. So he starts having me do a couple different exercises, and within 20 minutes I was completely out of pain, and that burning sensation was gone. And from that day forward, I have been able to sit and go on trips in the car, or go to church, or you know, whatever I need to do. I don't have to worry about, I can go hiking. It was like, that was the big moment of noticing that there was a huge difference. So it's like a completely different body that I'm in now. I don't take Celebrex anymore. I don't take Flexeril. I don't take Vicodin. I don't take anything for my joints at all anymore. It's amazing. I never would have thought that I could be fixed, because I was broken for so many years, a couple of decades. And I had even been told by some people, "Well, you're going to be a candidate for hip replacement at this rate." Well, guess what? I don't have any hip problems. My hips are fine now. For the first time in my life, I've been pain-free. And he's now my husband. We ended up getting married, and we've been married for 2.5 years, and I've known him for 3 years. And I've been pain-free for most of the 2.5 years that we've been married. Every once in a while I do something stupid to myself, but it's my own fault, like falling on the ice. But I bounce back so fast, and something like that would have put me in the hospital, would have put me on medications, would have put me into physical therapy or some rehab, something like that. And not anymore. I just work through it within a couple of days in my exercises, and it's fine. It's just because I was stupid. So I just want to tell people, you've got to at least check this out if you're having pain, chronic pain. If you're being told that you need surgery, at least think about something else before you do those things. Sometimes surgery is the way to go, but wow, don't get your leg cut off. You know, try something, anything natural. This is it. This guy's the only one guy's ever talked to me about SI joints and piriformis muscles and working out in the subtle ways that we have. It's not like going to the gym and pumping iron. This is completely different. My knocked knees also, I had that problem. Guess what? It's amazing. My knees aren't as bad as they used to be. I'm almost there. Those take longer. The thing that's really cool is I used to wear size 14, don't tell anybody, 14 pants, and I weigh more now than I did when I wore size 14, and I'm wearing size 8. I wonder why. Changed my pelvic girdle. My hips got smaller, my butt got smaller because he tightened everything up in there, and I look smaller, I feel better, I fit smaller clothes. I got my sexy back.